Offer extended. Offer not accepted. Extended. Not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my mortgage market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Today's rate, protected and waiting for you to purchase your perfect house. Call or click, take advantage of my mortgage experience. 888-888-2136 and lock in your rate. That's 888-888-2136. Squash fear from perhaps the most important decision, your home. 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.
Nelson.
Good gravy.
A radio host.
Found myself $2 million short of a millionaire.
Barely understandable.
Gee, Monetti.
We can rebuild him.
Guy's bright as a napkin.
We have the technology.
You gotta work with design, vision, and focus.
Better than he was before.
It's not lonely in my head.
Funnier.
I'm staring at a bowl of spaghetti trying to figure out which two ends come together.
More informative.
Characters defined by what you do once you screw up, not if you make mistakes along the way.
And just as sarcastic.
You sausage.
Oh, come on!
Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
This is Nelson Radio on KTLK AM 1150, heard every Saturday from 2 to 3 o'clock, the number one rated show on business, finance, real estate, and law. I'm Nelson. We're moving into the holidays, and we talked about this last week, but I wanted to just provide you this snapshot once more on the 6 reasons that you need to buy or sell property by year's end. We'll have these posted on our web platform, nelsonradio.com. You can also call me direct if you have questions, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. And let me just shotgun through a couple because I think they're important. One is, and I think it's probably one of the more compelling ones, is that there are far less competition out there. When you move into the holidays, you have sellers that are motivated to sell and close by year end, whether that's a short sale or tax purposes, whatever, they are motivated to hit that deadline. And the same with buyers. Buyers that are on the perimeter looking at property as, maybe I can move, maybe I'll purchase, maybe I won't. They fall to the wayside during the holidays. And this leaves opportunity open for people that do want to purchase, maybe even negotiate a little bit more aggressively since there's less buyers in the market, and capture a better transaction. And coupled with that, the process will be quicker. Right now, less refinance activity, less purchase activity because of the holidays. You have the mortgage community, including my own mortgage platform, that can move your transaction quickly through the process despite the holidays and less work days here in December. So if you have a 2-week close, we can accommodate that. And that's something to pay attention to. Get in, get out, have the transaction closed by 12/31. And another key factor, and this is something that the LA Times noted, these are the key federal tax aids for homeowners that are in danger of expiration. Capitol Hill, for the second year in a row, are fumbling and bumbling and stumbling on the renewal of certain things, one being the tax assistance for homeowners with short sales, congressional plans on whether they're going to renew the debt forgiveness program. Is there going to be deductions minimized or reduced for mortgage insurance payments, home energy efficiency improvements, and potentially what's been kicked around for a number of months, if not years, a limit or elimination altogether of your interest write-off on mortgages. Now, some of these things, most likely you're not at risk for, but we're in this period of uncertainty and we need to take action. My recommendation is take action with what you know is available and a benefit to you now, and don't put yourself at risk with a congressional guessing game on what's going to continue, what tax benefits are going to continue as we move into 2014. So again, we're going to have those 6 reasons to buy or sell by year's end posted on our website, nelsonradio.com, or contact me direct, 888-888-2136. The show is going to be great. We're looking at some of our professional partners in this show. And we have coming up after Street Noise, Marshall Reddick Real Estate Network, Scott Pastel, the Director of Marketing, and Marshall Reddick himself, the founder of the Marshall Reddick Real Estate Investment Network. And he's going to be looking at where there's clear investment opportunities, where properties are debt servicing, looking at some of the investment opportunities outside the state of California. And we have following Marshall, Insurance Inc. Tim Dean, the president and founder of Insurance Inc., is going to be discussing some of the pitfalls, some of the things that carriers or insurance providers don't necessarily provide to you that gives you exposure to being undercovered or not having the right liability coverage for your policy, whether that be on your home or investment property, commercial property. So we're going to take a look at some of those things. And then also with AmeriEstate Legal Plan, Greg Reese, founder and CEO of AmeriEstate Legal Plan, in looking at things that could be done by year end, your estate planning, your living trust, some of the areas of exposure that you have if you own multiple properties around the U.S. And so that's going to be an insightful interview. And then finishing up our show, we're mixing up the order, but we're going to move into Coach's Corner. And we have 4-time Pro Bowl fullback Lorenzo Neal talking about how he managed change in his career. Started his career with the New Orleans Saints and ended his career nearly 20 years later with the Oakland Raiders, and was noted as the pound for pound one of the greatest fullbacks to be in the NFL. Fabulous career, but it spread across 6 or 7 different NFL franchises. Some people would couch that as, he's a journeyman player. But what that really means is that he excelled for all of the teams that he played, having a long stint with the San Diego Chargers and also the Baltimore Ravens. And so exceptional interview. You'll have a chance to hear Lorenzo Neal in Coach's Corner. A couple of other headlines that I wanted to touch on here in Street Noise before we move on with our professional partners. And here's what leapt out of the news this week. One is, now as we approach the end of 2013, the home price surge in LA and Orange counties, and it's averaged out just under 22% appreciation. S&P Case-Shiller said 21.8% in appreciation in Los Angeles and Orange counties in our housing market. Will that be sustained? Most street opinion is that it's going to dampen slightly, but we're still going to be in an appreciating market. Another interesting thing that I found from the mortgage sector is that adjustable rate mortgages making a comeback. And here's people that are looking at just from a pure cash management and financial management strategy, looking at maybe heading into their college years with their kids. They're funding tuitions over the next 4 or 5 years, and they're saying, hey, for this period of time, I'm going to take a haircut on my housing expense, go into an adjustable rate mortgage that's going to cost me strategically. And many people don't realize this, that the 3, 5, 7, and 10-year fixed rate loans, where they're fixed for that upfront period, are still 30-year mortgages that roll over at the end of that fixed period to adjustable rate financing. So what strategically homeowners are doing in this example are saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to be going through those extraordinary expenses for the next 5 years. I'm going to go into a 5-year fixed rate, free up cash flow, move my interest rate on these kinds of loans that are down plus minus around 3%, and take those savings to offset some extraordinary expenses. And I think it's not a bad strategy, and one that you're not taking mortgage risk in the context that the interest rate is still fixed for that given period, whether that be 3, 5, 7, or 10 years. So it's a good strategy to pay attention to. We'll be able to answer questions on that. Give us a call direct, 888-888-2136, or click through on any information that you'd like. with Marshall Reddick Insurance Inc. AmeriEstate Legal Plan at our website, nelsonradio.com. 888-888-2136. 888-888-2136. You've got to pick up the 6 reasons to buy or sell by year's end. Coming right around the corner, we're going to open up with Marshall Reddick Real Estate Network. Stay with us.
This segment is brought to you by Nelson's Mortgage Services, offering our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantee. The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, now the #1 rated business and real estate radio show right here in the Southland. I want to talk to you now about our trusted partners from Insurance Incorporated. They are the real estate insurance experts. They work with several of the nation's leading insurance companies who are eager to earn your home, apartment, and commercial real estate business. That means more choices and savings for you. They offer coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies are for apartments, investment properties, and include protection against loss of rents, wrongful eviction, vandalism, theft, slip and fall claims. They can assist your tenants with renter's insurance. On the homeowner side, they have several examples of customers saving up to 40% on premiums and with often overlooked liability coverage. Contact them direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or click through at insuranceinc.com. DOI license number 0235301.
What can $50 do? With a donation of $50, you can impact the life of a child today in Bulgaria, the poorest nation in the European Union, with one of the highest percentages of human trafficking in Europe. Click and donate today to satesi.org, and your giving heart will make a huge difference in the life of a young Bulgarian boy or girl. That's CEITCI.org. Impact the world and care for Bulgarian children at risk with so little. Donate today at satesi.org. That's CEITCI.org.
Offer extended. Offer not accepted. Extended, not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my mortgage market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Today's rate, protected and waiting for you to purchase your perfect house. Call or click, take advantage of my mortgage experience. 888-888-2136 and lock in your rate. That's 888-888-2136. Squash fear from perhaps the most important decision, your home. 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.
This segment of Nelson Radio is brought to you by AmeriEstate Legal Planning. Looking forward, planning wisely.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. I'm Nelson, and we are in our Nelson Radio 2013 year-end show. I want you to continue to check out our Mortgage Advantage, providing our market-exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee. What that is, you freeze today's interest rate before you take on any risk of rates rising as we end 2013 or move into 2014. That rate's waiting for you at the finish line, and then you go out, shop for your home, and simply assign that guaranteed rate to the property that you're successful in your negotiations for. It's a great, safe, and sane way to finance your property. Find out more, give us a call, 888-888-2136, or click through at nelsonradio.com. I'm happy to welcome back to our program Marshall Reddick, the founder of the Marshall Reddick Real Estate Investment Network. And Marshall, as we finish off the year, I just wanted to take a quick look at what it's been backwards, looking back at 2013, a wild year in real estate, where we are today. And more specifically, I wanted to ask you about why investors, home buyers, should be buying now and not simply pushing it off past the holidays. And I want to start with a reference. LA Times came out with an article The article title was Key Federal Tax Aid for Homeowners in Danger of Expiration. And it's just not the tax aid. There are other elements that are government initiatives that are set to expire. They may renew, they may not. Some of those being the write-off on mortgage insurance, the write-off or cap on interest expense, some things out there that are lingering that Congress may renew. But the bottom line, it's not done. And I just wanted to get your opinion. That is an example. Should people act now, or should they just go right into holiday mode and pick it up in 2014? What are your thoughts?
All right. Well, Nelson, thank you for having me back. Really, really appreciate it. You know, this time of year is the time of year that I buy most of my properties. And the reason being is that it becomes so slow because everybody's involved in Thanksgiving, which we just had, and then Christmas and New Year's and all the different holidays. And so their thoughts and their time are spent on shopping and family gatherings and so on. And so as a result, everything becomes very quiet. There's very few properties for sale. There's very, very few people buying. And so it creates an incredible opportunity because there's still builders that want to sell their properties. There's still individuals that have to sell their properties by year end or have had them on the market a long time and are getting discouraged. And so prices are likely to go down during this time of year. And so it's just an absolutely fabulous time for people to buy. So I always tell people to give themselves a Christmas present and buy a property instead of putting it into a lot of things that they'll probably never use or that will deteriorate and won't be worth anything in a year, like electronics. And to go out and buy themselves a property that they'll have for the rest of their lives and will enable them to be able to benefit from the tax benefits that are so great still and from the appreciation, which is just fabulous. We've had appreciation of averaging 13% nationwide, and some of the areas which we offer property have been up around 20 to 30% a year in appreciation. And we still have positive cash flow because the interest rates are so good. But the interest rates are going to be climbing. Everybody feels that way. They have climbed some. And so they need to act now. They just can't wait. Next year will be a totally different year.
So let me ask you the obvious question. Rightfully, everybody is distracted. Good news, there's less buyers in the market, less sellers, so competition is down. But just in terms of time, not only at this time of year, but as an investor moving into 2014, I work a full-time job. Actually, I work a lot of full-time jobs. I'm spread thin. How do I invest with just a stretched schedule?
Oh, absolutely. And that's one reason why I created the network that we did, because it is very difficult on your own to find a realtor, to find a good area for yourselves to invest in, and then to find the realtor there, and then to find property management. And that's why we created our network, is that we have the realtors in the best areas. We have scoped out the best areas to invest in, either from a cash flow or appreciation standpoint. And then we have the property management, even at a reduced rate, because we've been able to negotiate with them. We have the lenders. We have the insurance. We have everything in place that makes it very easy for people to buy. Otherwise, it's kind of scary out there. It's trying to find a good realtor and decide what the best area is to find property, and then find property management. It's very difficult to find good property management.
This is Nelson Radio. You're listening to Marshall Reddick, the founder of the Marshall Reddick Real Estate Investment Network. To find out more, call direct, 888-888-2136, or you can click through at nelsonradio.com. I have a couple more questions that I think are key to ask as we finish off the year and look forward. I want to also introduce Scott Pastel, the Director of Marketing for the Marshall Reddick Real Estate Investment Network. And you've been at this, you've seen the master of real estate investment in work. And I just wanted to ask you, in your career, the common mistakes. What are people doing wrong as they go into their investments?
Well, thanks a lot, Nelson. It's interesting, and I tell a lot of beginning investors, understand the mistakes, know the common mistakes, and it will help guide you to the positive results, the outcome that you're looking for. Some of the main mistakes that I see people make when they start looking at real estate as an investment is they bring the same emotional decisions that they make when looking for a primary residence, a home, into the investment career. They may look at it and think, well, what does the kitchen look like? Or maybe what's the backyard? And they sort of look at it as a house that they're buying that they're going to live in. A lot of people also think they are used to living in one market, beautiful Southern California. And if they're going to be buying in a market like Phoenix or Memphis, they need to understand those markets, which are very different. They need to understand the demographics, the job market, what pockets and what neighborhoods they want to be buying in, and also what price range. Because if you look throughout the nation, I mean, there's just a dramatic difference in the markets, price points, rents. And so really researching, understanding those markets is absolutely important.
Is that your primary role as an educator, especially with the investing in other parts of the U.S.?
After 9 years of working in real estate, it's really become my passion, working with Marshall, learning under his wing, studying how he became so successful, how he grew a portfolio so big. And getting started was the most difficult part. But now today, I love working with investors and educating them and advising them because, I was there many years ago, scared and nervous, not knowing how to get started, looking at it as, hey, this is going to be one of the biggest financial decisions I ever make. How on earth, do I get started? So
and I would think that's a common mistake because as you're driving around, you may be one of many that are out there that are nose pressed up against the candy store window, but going, oh, I don't have the time for that, or I don't know how to look at that, or what do I know about investing in Phoenix or Indianapolis or Florida?
Sure.
It's almost their own self-imposed governors. And I think that's the insightful note to end on. The numbers don't lie. And what you said earlier in terms of not letting your search for real estate as you would as a home resident living in the property versus what you would investing in as a sound real estate investment elsewhere. There's so much more to find out about. I want to encourage you to click through to nelsonradio.com. We'll put you in direct contact with Marshall Reddick Real Estate Investment Network. They have a couple of seminars coming up here that I'll also be broadcasting the times, dates, and locations. You can call me direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Scott Pastel, Marshall Reddick. Thanks, as always, for guiding the investment community. We look forward to working with you. We'll be right back.
This segment of Nelson Radio is brought to you by AmeriEstate Legal Planning. Looking forward, planning wisely. The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Offer extended. Offer not accepted. Extended. Not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my mortgage market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Today's rate, protected and waiting for you to purchase your perfect house. Call or click, take advantage of my mortgage experience. 888-888-2136 and lock in your rate. That's 888-888-2136. Squash fear from perhaps the most important decision, your home. 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.
Protect your family's future with an AmeriEstate Living Trust. It doesn't take as much time or cost as you may think. If you own a home or have children, you need a living trust. With an AmeriEstate Living Trust, you can protect your family and have peace of mind. The experts at AmeriEstate Legal Plan have helped more than 35,000 families safeguard their future. Their services are half the cost of pricey law firms. Don't delay any longer. Call Nelson Radio today, 888-888-2136, and get an additional $250 off. AmeriEstate Legal Plan. Looking forward, planning wisely.
This segment of Nelson Radio is brought to you by Changing a Generation, putting an end to human trafficking one child at a time.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio's 2013 year-end show. I'm Nelson, and we are showcasing some of our professional alliances. Here's the scorecard. We have alliances with key, credible, vetted out professional services throughout the Southland, whether that's obviously our own services with mortgage financing or insurances or legal services. You don't need to go out there and discover who's quality, who performs, who actually stands behind their word, who's accountable. We've done that work for you and want to encourage you to take a look at nelsonradio.com. Check out all of our professional alliance partners. You can click through at nelsonradio.com. You can also call me direct at 888-888-2136. I want to make certain you also know about our 12-step process to improve and improving performance. We call it our Be a Beast training video. You can find out, again, more about that on nelsonradio.com or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. We all have to perform, whether it's in the locker room or in the boardroom or at home. This training video is about taking your performance to a higher level. With that, I want to welcome Tim Dean, the president of Insurance Inc., into our studio. And Tim, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So you've been busy. You've got the Obama debacle of healthcare, and it's one of the many facets of insurances that you provide. But I've got to ask, is it just like trying to get around the I-5 on commuter traffic?
Yeah, it's been quite crazy over the last 2 months, figuring out the Obamacare and where it's going and what's going to happen next is really the surprise issue we're waiting on.
Well, that's one element, the health benefits that you provide, but your insurance services cover a wide variety of different insurances. And I just wanted to ask you on homeowners insurance to begin with. A lot of common mistakes that people make. And you and I talk about this as you work with my clients. I refer them over to you. But so many people, as an example, don't carry liability insurance. Nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the crazy part. That's the coverage that's going to protect you from lawsuits, any type of personal lawsuits with the exception of criminal acts. Let's say you're golfing and you hit someone with a golf ball and injure them, or they trip and fall on your property, or you have a party and someone gets injured. That's the coverage that's going to protect your assets, your home, your trust, everything you own.
Why do insurance companies leave that off, especially in California, the most litigious state in the union? Why would they leave that off?
Generally, it's offered. The limits that come with it is usually a very low limit, $100,000. Or you'll get agents that try to get creative, and instead of selling you a proper homeowner's policy, they'll sell you a dwelling fire policy that only covers your property for fire hazard. And we see that quite a bit. So you want to be looking for something that it says an HO3 or an HO5, that is the proper form for a homeowner's.
Let me ask you about other mistakes. And you with the carriers that you represent, the same way that I've come into my relationship with you as a proven performer, you've gone out and done the same vetting process with the insurance carriers. I know my own testimony. Get this. I had one insurance carrier for my homeowner's insurance for 14 years. Had a claim, they satisfied the claim, and then canceled my policy for having too many claims. 14 years, one claim, and then they canceled the policy for having too many claims.
Well, I can't really speak to the carrier, but generally that's when you want to get your agent involved. I mean, one claim on a homeowner's, usually they don't cancel you.
Yeah, and that's
unless you have
There's other issues that lurk out there in terms of being with the wrong carrier or a loss leader in terms of price, but then they don't perform when it comes to
price,
when you need them.
Be careful on price shopping, and I'm not saying that you can't find a competitive price, but make sure you have all the coverages. Make sure when you're calling around, you're going to compare one quote to the other, that you have a quote in writing discussing the same coverages with the competing agent so that you're getting an apples to apples comparison. I can't tell you how many times we get people that call me, say they want a homeowner's quote, and I ask them what coverages they have. They have no clue. Well, they're going to get an apple to oranges comparison. They're not going to get anything that they really need, which is, hey, this company A is just as competitive as company B, but they're giving me less coverage. So,
are there 5 or 6 automatic things that you just have to ask for, or does it vary? Is it customized from one policy to the next?
Well, location of your home is number one. Square footage is another thing that they'll ask for. Claims questions if you've had prior claims.
My one claim.
Yeah. You're going to want to be upfront with it, because now insurance companies have information banks where once I put your address and name in there, it searches through a bank of claims and it can find any past claims you've
just
had.
like DMV, you have everybody's history.
Yeah, they have your history now. So trying to play that game, generally you'll get your policy for a day and the carrier will run that report, and the next day you're canceled for not disclosing something. So be upfront. Let your agent do the work of figuring out what route to take you. Now, the difference between our company and some of the other insurance agents out there is some of the other companies, they can only represent one insurance company. So your choice is limited. It's whatever they're having to offer is what's there. With our insurance agency, we're directly appointed with about 10 to 15 different major insurance companies. So if company A may not fit your niche, we can move you over to company C, company D, and we can find the proper one that fits you in your area, in your position in life, and find the proper one, because not every carrier's, right for everybody.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. I'm with Tim Dean from Insurance Inc. You can contact us direct, 888-888-2136, or click through to nelsonradio.com, and you'll be able to get in direct contact with Insurance Inc. You've been in this business for many, many years. Number one frustration that you have as an insurance provider
is gathering the information we need to get you the quote that you need.
Give you pieces of the puzzle, or
we'll get people that'll, let's say you buy an office building and you just purchased the office building. You don't know when the roof was last updated or the plumbing or the electrical. Well, those are all things that carriers are looking at, saying, have they modernized the building? Is this less likely to have a fire? And if that's the case, they're more apt to give you more credits. So it's important to know about the building you bought and what the condition was when you bought it, when things were last updated. So getting a construction report when you were purchasing something, that can be very helpful to your insurance agent.
How does that cross over to the residential side, where, okay, an appraisal is being done, a home inspection is being done, but generally speaking, those are cosmetic reviews?
Usually in the construction inspections, they will bring about reports that will give us the information, like it's on circuit breakers. Well, the home might be 1940, where in 1940 they didn't have circuit breakers. So that tells the carrier it's been updated. So we can pull information from those construction reports that will help us get you coverage. And we deal with homes going back to the 1800s all the way up to brand new homes. And each one has a different feature, different risks, and the carriers are going to ask different questions.
There's so many different facets of insurance. In terms of what you provide, and you cover all the different insurance types, but in terms of regions, California only?
No, we're licensed in about 30 states, expanding as time goes by, but right now about 30 states.
So investors that are buying properties in other states, they can resource their insurance coverages through you as well.
Correct.
There's a lot to find out about. You're listening to Tim Dean, the president of Insurance Inc., vetted out professional, one that I highly endorse and use my own insurance services for. You can find out his contact information by calling me direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or click through at nelsonradio.com. Tim, thanks for clearing a little bit of the air. There's so much more to cover. We'll have you back on the program.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hang in there with us. We'll be right back.
This segment of Nelson Radio is brought to you by Changing a Generation, putting an end to human trafficking one child at a time.
Offer extended. Offer not accepted. Extended, not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my mortgage market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Today's rate, protected and waiting for you to purchase your perfect house. Call or click, take advantage of my mortgage experience. 888-888-2136 and lock in your rate. That's 888-888-2136. Squash fear from perhaps the most important decision, your home. 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and I want to tell you I invest a tremendous amount of time to align Nelson Radio with the top professionals in business. Insurance Incorporated carries my highest endorsement as a sound performer and a trusted professional. Insurance Inc. are the insurance experts.
representing the nation's leading carriers that are eager to earn your business. And what that translates to, your money staying in your pocket. Homeowners, commercial real estate owners, property managers, apartment owners, you have choices, but beware. Shortcuts on your insurance can often lead to inadequate coverage, uncovered claims, and exorbitant risk on your most treasured assets, your home and your investment properties. Insurance Inc.'s customers often save as much as 40% on their premiums with coverage that they need most. Experience the power of choice and follow my recommendation to Insurance Incorporated. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, and capture better coverage at a lower cost. 888-888-2136, or click through at insuranceinc.com. DOI license number 0235301. Protect your family's future with an AmeriEstate Living Trust. It doesn't take as much time or cost as you may think. If you own a home or have children, you need a living trust. With an AmeriEstate Living Trust, you can protect your family and have peace of mind. The experts at AmeriEstate Legal Plan have helped more than 35,000 families safeguard their future. Their services are half the cost of pricey law firms. Don't delay any longer. Call Nelson Radio today, 888-888-2136, and get an additional $250 off. AmeriEstate Legal Plan. Looking forward, planning wisely.
What can $50 do? With a donation of $50, you can impact the life of a child today in Bulgaria, the poorest nation in the European Union, with one of the highest percentages of human trafficking in Europe. Half a tank of gas, or a winter coat, hat, and gloves for a young boy or girl. 3 cinema tickets and a bucket of popcorn, or the assurance that an innocent child is warm for winter. Additional minutes on your smartphone, or the affirmation that you're impacting the less fortunate. Click and donate today to satesi.org, and your giving heart will make a huge difference in the life of a young Bulgarian boy or girl. That's CEITCI.org, and $50 that means so little in the U.S. can lessen the hardship of an impoverished child that has so little. $50 for You Decide. Impact the world and care for Bulgarian children at risk with so little. Donate today at satesi.org. That's CEITCI.org. And change a generation.
This segment is brought to you by Nelson's Mortgage Services, offering our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantee.
Welcome to Nelson Radio, and we've been showcasing our professional partners, our alliances with professional services throughout the Southland, and important thing to recognize, these are key, credible, vetted professional companies. We've gone through the research, the due diligence to find out who actually performs, who's accountable, who can execute and stand behind their services. And coming in that same vein is Greg Reese, the founder and CEO of AmeriEstate Legal Plan. And Greg, I want to welcome you to the program.
Thanks, Nelson. Good to be with you again.
So we have to ask the question, with what you do, and I know the estate planning services, the majority of what you're known for, but doesn't it seem like that's the last thing that people pay attention to? Just talking about the general consumer?
Well, sometimes it is the last thing you think about. It's kind of like people think about life insurance when they're 20 years old. They don't expect to, live just a couple of years. They expect to live a long time. So estate planning sometimes is the same way. But what we find as people get older, they start thinking more seriously about transitioning or passing down their wealth to their children with a minimum of complication and cost. We also have the baby boomers that have young children at home. They've got a home, they've got some savings and investments, and they're concerned about how do I best provide for my minor children should the unthinkable happen. So it kind of goes along an event-driven environment, if you will. I'm leaving on a long trip to Europe. Got a lot of people coming in, so timing is often very critical.
I have some questions that I want to dive a little bit deeper, but I want to ask you about AmeriEstate Legal Plan and how you formed that and the reason that you formed it the way you did.
Well, that's kind of a long question to answer, but I'll try to give you a Reader's Digest synopsis. I was interested in helping people to have access to affordable estate planning primarily. I was involved in the real estate, securities, financial planning arena for many years, and I got very interested in estate planning because it was hand in hand with the core profession I was involved in. And the more I got interested in it, the more I decided that there must be a way to help people obtain high quality, affordable services in this area. That led to AmeriEstate Legal Plan, long story short.
With people's investment. There's been this huge thirst to real estate, this rush to real estate throughout 2013. Earlier in the program, we were talking to Marshall Reddick and Scott Pastel from the Marshall Reddick Real Estate Investment Network, and their synergy of taking California investors and investing in real estate in other parts of the country. Are there things that they need to pay attention to as far as their estate planning or living trusts if they're investing in other regions of the U.S.?
Oh, absolutely. I think that business model is just brilliant, and that more people can access affordable investments that should pay dividends for them over time. But you got to remember, when you cross state lines with ownership of real estate, you have additional estate planning concerns you need to be aware of. For example, if you die, you could end up with probate in multiple states, and that could cost a lot more money and a lot more time. You'd be better served when you make those moves to make sure that you have, at the very least, a living trust in place so that you can use that trust to own property anywhere in the country. When you die, your plan will take immediate control over it. You won't be involved with the courts or attorneys, and your family will get exactly what you intend for them to have.
You're listening to Greg Reese, the founder and CEO of AmeriEstate Legal Plan. As always, we want to encourage you to contact us direct. Find out more specifics. You can reach us at 888-888-2136 or click through at nelsonradio.com. Greg, I wanted to ask you the question because you have other elements that you provide. Estate planning is certainly one of them, living trusts in place. I had no idea the issue of, let's say I own 12 properties in 12 different states around the U.S. I don't have a trust in place. That subjects me to 12 different probates.
That's correct. It's pretty daunting. You're going to have a central probate, usually in the state you live in, but probate can be opened up, and it will be opened up in every single state where you own property if you don't have a proper plan in place. Now, our firm does more than just living trusts and estate planning. We're a membership organization. For a very low membership fee, you have access to a nationwide panel of attorneys in any conceivable specialty that you can obtain free and discounted legal services. Our core specialties happen to be in the area of estate planning, asset protection, and legal long-term care benefits planning. On the asset protection side, just to dovetail with what you were talking to Marshall about, is a lot of the folks that go out of state or invest in investment property here in California want to create certain asset protection around those assets.
Right.
The risks of owning real estate are pretty unique. There's a lot more players involved. There's tenants, there's vendors, there's guests of tenants. Anything could happen, lawsuits can emerge. They want to make sure that those assets are protected to the highest degree possible. At the same time, create a barrier between your personal assets and your business or investment assets, which investment real estate qualifies as.
You have the legal instruments to do that. Do the proper insurances also insulate?
Proper insurances are very important, and it really does lay the foundation for those types of risks that you might face. The problem is they're not all encompassing. Oftentimes you will find gaps in insurance. For example, whenever insurance companies start getting claims that are too high in a given area, they start excluding those particular events from their coverage. So, for example, mold and water damage you see customarily now is excluded from almost every policy because of the lawsuits that arose from water damage resulting in mold and respiratory illness and so forth and so on. So now there's no coverage for that. So there are holes and gaps in insurance coverages. So if you want to create an additional layer of protection around yourself, it's kind of like creating that castle wall and that moat around your castle, which is what it is. Then you might want to consider forming an LLC to add that additional layer of protection.
Let's segue from that right into another facet of your organization, which is the estate administration.
Well, estate administration is really a growing area in our firm because what most people don't realize is that when you create a living trust, or you create an estate plan, it's done to meet your specific goals that you have at that time. But things change. Laws can change. Circumstances in your family can change. You could have new members of your family be born. Some could die. Some could get married. Your goals could change depending on the direction your children follow as they get older. And so they need to be updated from time to time. Also, when somebody becomes incapacitated or somebody passes away, it's valuable or invaluable for them to have a resource that they can call, they can talk to for free. Their children can reach out to us. They can make sure that they're heading in the right direction. They're taking care of the right instruments that need to be executed. They're able to get somebody to help them deal with the financial institutions or the real estate office or the escrow firm. What do I need to know about this upcoming or pending transaction? That's where we can come in and be extremely valuable to the clients and their heirs.
Wise counselors. We've skipped across the tips of the iceberg as we always do, but want to encourage everyone that's listening out there, pay attention. Get that estate plan in place, living trust in place. Talk to Greg Reese from AmeriEstate Legal Plan about estate administration, the asset protection that is all-encompassing, not just limited to California, in most areas of the U.S., total resource for you to tap into. One of our vetted out partners that's accountable in their services and actually executes to a very, very high degree. Meets the cut of the Nelson Radio Affinity Network. Greg, thanks for being with the program. You can click through and find out more, nelsonradio.com, or call me direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Greg, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Nelson, and happy holidays.
This segment of Nelson Radio brought to you by Berkshire Hathaway California Properties, Marco Rufo, specializing in Pacific Palisades.
This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, now the #1 rated business and real estate radio show right here in the Southland. I want to talk to you now about our trusted partners from Insurance Incorporated. They are the real estate insurance experts. They work with several of the nation's leading insurance companies who are eager to earn your home, apartment, and commercial real estate business. That means more choices and savings for you. They offer coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies are for apartments, investment properties, and include protection against loss of rents, wrongful eviction, vandalism, theft, slip and fall claims. They can assist your tenants with renter's insurance. On the homeowner side, they have several examples of customers saving up to 40% on premiums and with often overlooked liability coverage. Contact them direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or click through at insuranceinc.com. DOI license number 0235301. Protect your family's future with an AmeriEstate Living Trust. It doesn't take as much time or cost as you may think. If you own a home or have children, you need a living trust. With an AmeriEstate Living Trust, you can protect your family and have peace of mind. The experts at AmeriEstate Legal Plan have helped more than 35,000 families safeguard their future. Their services are half the cost of pricey law firms. Don't delay any longer. Call Nelson Radio today, 888-888-2136, and get an additional $250 off. AmeriEstate Legal Plan. Looking forward, planning wisely.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST, or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST, or online at bestchauffeured.com.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. This segment brought to you by Insurance Incorporated, cutting insurance premiums up to 40%.
This is Nelson on Nelson Radio. We're back with one of our favorite segments, Coach's Corner, and we're going to be showcasing Lorenzo Neal, pound for pound, the preeminent fullback in the National Football League, had nearly a 20-year career kicking off with the New Orleans Saints. This interview was done with Dave Austin, our mental performance coach, and talking about how he, playing for 8 different franchises across his career, managed change and how that presented opportunity to him. Contact us direct, 888-888-2136, or click through at nelsonradio.com. Listen to Lorenzo Neal.
When we're going to have a guest, I mean, he's the guy we got to have on, because Lorenzo not only, was an all-pro fullback, but, he started his career as a running back. And he was an outstanding running back, and then got injured, and then had to shift and became, in the all-decade team, there's only one fullback on it, and that's Lorenzo Neal. And we're going to learn how he was able to shift his whole mentality into saying, he's the star guy, tailback, but now he's going to be the support role, and became a superstar being that support role. So really excited to have you on, Lorenzo.
Hey, Dave, thanks for that great introduction, man.
Pound for pound, the preeminent fullback. You've been with a number of franchises. Obviously, you had a great stint with the San Diego Chargers, went on to Baltimore, ended your career, I believe, at the Oakland Raiders. But we were talking in our opening segment, Lorenzo, about managing change and how so many people push that off as something that's uncomfortable. You've faced that throughout your career. I wanted you to comment on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that when you change is something that, you got to welcome. And I think that when I don't know if you guys ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, you got to continue to move and keep evolving as people, as men, as leaders. And even as when you're in the entertainment world, in sports, went from a predominantly two-back offense when I came in the league with, in the Saints, and, now the time's going less fullback. So you had to be that guy who really had to be an anchor and had to show your value. So it was me with change. I saw it coming, so I said I have to work that much harder. So I was fortunate enough to play with some great backs who made my job a lot easier. And that's what change is. Change is always good. It's just how you deal with it.
This is Nelson in Coach's Corner on Nelson Radio. You can contact us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or click through at nelsonradio.com. We're listening to Lorenzo Neal talking about managing change over his professional football career.
It's something that comes up from the outside looking in, people that don't understand professional athletes perhaps, or understand their careers. Some would look at, you traveling through 6-7 different franchises and kind of misdirect you into that, he's a journeyman player. And yet you are known as a 4-time Pro Bowl fullback, a phenom. How do you balance those two?
Yeah, I think that's it's a great statement, kind of how, as a journeyman player, is this guy who never really stayed in a long place, played in San Diego 5 years, is New Orleans Saints for 4 years, and you say, guy played 16, 17 years. How does that happen when you're such a prolific at what you do? I think now with the free agency and the way that things go and how it is and how it continues to evolve, I think that you have to be, when you're in a position that the value's not there, and you're pretty much an assassin for hire, and teams use you just for what you can bring to the table. And you have to understand that, and you have to be able to take yourself out of it. And that's how you, as a parent and as a father, as leaders, it can't be about you. You got to understand that you have to be a provider. You have to understand that this is your job. You have to understand that it's a business. You have to understand that if you treat it as a business and not as a hobby. See, I play tennis as a hobby, and I'm not that darn good, and I get mad if they keep too many faults, and I'm like, darn it. But you know what? Go ask you, and go ask Dave, and ask yourself, did you play it as a hobby? You say, no, it was your business. When you were trying to go pro and you became professional, it was your business. And that's how a lot of guys, they treat the National Football League or the sports that they're in and the jobs that they're in. You treat it as a hobby, and usually get you hobby results. If you want to be great at something, you got to treat it as a business. If you're going to be in sports, you better treat it as a business. That means you better be in the locker room. You better be working out. You better be watching film, watching your opponent, watching how he holds the ball. What's his release when he's dropping the ball in his tennis? What is he trying to do? What, his points. That's how you become great. That's how you become a great player and learn your craft.
And a student of your profession.
Yeah, you know what, Lorenzo, I love what you had to say because, one of the things you gave all the credit to those backs, those great backs. I mean, you did play for great backs, but you're the only fullback that led 11 straight years backs to over 1,000 yards. Do you think you might have had a part in them having their success? My viewpoint is, amen. Yes, brother, you did. Because of the student you were, because of your commitment. And that's what the show is all about, is that, you chose football, and that was it. Nelson and I both, played tennis as a profession. But, in business, we have to make a choice every day. And I think you said it so beautifully. You study it. You be the best. You don't take it on as a hobby. You take it on as your job. And in that kind of extreme focus, that's when your beast comes out of you.
No question, guys. You and Nelson understand, the dynamics of being a team player, what role, when the guy needs to lay off, when the guy needs to come in. Even on the show, you start to develop chemistry. In football, anything you do in life, you got to have chemistry with your partner, whether it's your wife, whether it's your business partner. That's how you become successful. When it becomes about you, That's usually pride before the fall. You got to be able to trust people if you want to be successful in a lot of things that you do in life. You look at Tom Brady and the Peyton Manning. Tom Brady this year losing all the guys that he lost and still able to keep that team playing at a high level. Why? Because his commitment to excellence, him challenging other athletes and guys around him that he wants more and he expects more. He demands more. And that's what leadership does. Leadership isn't given. It's earned.
That's Coach's Corner on Nelson Radio, showcasing that interview with Dave Austin and Lorenzo Neal, known as the pound-for-pound preeminent fullback in the National Football League. With his career that spanned nearly 2 decades, he was discussing managing change, and I think it's so appropriate as we transition out of 2013 and look forward to 2014. I want to make certain you can contact us at any time. You can reach me direct, 888-888-2136, or click through at nelsonradio.com. Over the holidays, please pay attention to our alliance with treasuresofafrica.org. 50 kids that we're helping support down in Moshi, Tanzania, that are looking for your sponsorship. That orphanage is bringing up community leaders that not only are being provided clear drinking water, education, food, clothing, but are being taught on how to come back into their community and make change and be leaders in their community. Check it out, nelsonradio.com. We'll be back with you next week.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. This segment brought to you by Insurance Incorporated, cutting insurance premiums up to 40%.